Where should I be posting my podcast episodes? I'm going to say everywhere that you can: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, even if you have Amazon. The reason why I say that is because it allows your podcast to reach people where they consume their podcast at. Now, most people consume a lot of podcasts through Apple Podcasts, which is probably one of the biggest ones. But a lot more people consume podcasts through YouTube. YouTube does have a podcast uh, lane, and it's the second largest search engine. Right now, I believe Google is the biggest search engine, and YouTube is the second biggest search engine. So let's talk about where I'm posting it and why I should be posting it in those places. If you are a business owner, or even if you're just someone who's using it as a hobby, you want other people to listen to it. If you're a business owner, you definitely want people to listen to it because that's where you're going to plug in your lead magnets. That's where you're going to plug in your services, your offers, your challenges, things of that nature. And the easier it is for someone to find you, the easier it is for them to actually work with you. Myron Golden uses this quote a lot: become findable, which means make it easy for people to find you. The great part about having the podcast is that you can put what's called an RSS feed, and it will allow your podcast to circulate through different media. So I use Spotify for podcasters, and that's the main uh, platform that I've used to help people start and launch their podcast. Once you go, and I don't have the time to show you all of it right now, but just listen to this part. Once you go into Spotify for podcasters, you sign up, you fill out your information, you'll be able to have your podcast there. What's called an RSS feed is you just copy the code, and they have it literally on the page. You go to Apple, uh, Apple Podcasts, wherever you want to put it at, and it'll let you plug in your RSS feed. So what that does now is every time I upload an episode on my Spotify for podcasters, it automatically uploads the episode on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and so on. The cool part about that is now you're in multiple places without having to go into each one of those platforms and plug in the information. Marvelous. Now, for those who just have an audio only podcast, meaning you're not being seen on camera, you're just being heard, you can also put that on YouTube as well. On YouTube, it'll show up as just the cover of your podcast and your voice. I'm going to say you probably should start thinking about going the video route because it builds trust a lot easier. I know sometimes it means you have to get dressed and all of that. Like right now, I'm shooting this episode at 6:19 in the morning. I would consider it, but if you don't, at least have that audio on YouTube because again, it's one of the biggest search engines. Now, lastly, to wrap up, what you should be titling your episodes. If you're going on these platforms and you want to be found, title the episode something that someone's typing inside of Google. Literally, go to Google and type in what you should name your episode title and the comparisons. You'll see sometimes it's a big difference. Something that works for me a lot is that instead of saying like Drew's Clues or Drew's Tips to podcasting, that is unique because I'm Drew and I'm giving tips. But people are not searching up Drew's Tips for podcasting. Instead, I would say podcasting tips for beginners, podcasting tips for people who don't have time. And you can do that right through Google or Chat GPT. But if you're a business owner, if you're a hobbyist, put the podcast in multiple places just by going to Spotify for podcasters. And it talks you right, it leads you right through it, which is so easy. They made it better where you plug in your RSS feed that they give you, and now it can go to multiple places that you have an account on, and multiple people can find you a lot easier. Be great, guys. I'm out of here.